Hello, readers, listeners. This is Kari.
And this is Alexis.
And you're listening to Lit Society, a show about books and drama. This is our end of the 2023 season wrap up, where we're going to talk about our favorite books from the season, our least favorite, and get into some fun times and some comments from you guys. But let's start off with Society Says. Society Says is where we share your comments, listeners, with the rest of our Lit Society. Alexis, is there a comment that you found online that you thought particularly lit this week?
Yeah, the comment I found, I believe, is from YouTube, but we'll see. It's
Okay.
from Tony M. And she says, my favorite podcast ever. First time watching here instead of listening on Spotify. Thanks for everything you guys do. I read books I would normally choose just to hear you talk about it because no one does it like you guys. And gave us a star. Thank you, Tony M. Love the comment.
Thank you so much. That's so cute. I feel like, well, I don't know if everybody knows, but each week I choose a book and then Alexis chooses a book. So we rotate. And I definitely have read some things that I normally wouldn't read because Alexis recommended those books or just because we read a book a week. So we have time to dive into a new genre or new author. And this year specifically, I felt like was really fun. We have a lot of good books. What do you think?
Yeah, I do. I agree. A lot of good books.
Mm-hmm.
So how about you? Did you have a comment that you wanted to share with our listeners, our readers?
Yeah, this is from Apple Podcasts, and this is from Ebbs and Flow 23. It's very personal. They say, thank you. Tuning in with you guys has helped me through the passing of my mom. The topics and humor has gotten me through the day. And she gives us a heart emoji. That meant a lot to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that comment.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes, like when we're dealing with something heavy, I understand having to take in some foolishness just to give your mind a break. And I feel like this podcast is maybe a great remedy for whatever's ailing you. So thank you, Ebbs and Flows, for listening. Remember, listeners, to have your comment shared on the show. Leave us a message on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, wherever you find us. And we might read your comment for the rest of the Lit Society. All right, well, let's go into the second part of our breakdown, our wrap-up session. And let's get into our least favorite books. Like I said, I really feel like this season was full of really great books. Just going through all of the episodes and remembering all of the nonfiction and fiction that we read, and even self-help books. There was a lot out there that really stuck with me. But some of them did not. And some books, as soon as I read, I wanted to forget immediately, or I felt like they were a huge waste of time. Alexis, were there any books that we read this season that you felt were on your least favorite list?
I tried to focus on characters more than books this time around. And there were a few. There were quite a few.
Like
particularly the characters in Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
I mean, that is at the top of my list of things I do not have to talk about, think about, or even consider again, even though it comes up a lot.
I was just watching something and some celebrity was talking about their favorite books of all time. And Alice in Wonderland was in the top 5. This was an adult human.
Yeah.
And they loved Alice in Wonderland. Do we need to give it another shot? Did we miss?
I don't. Feel free, though. Jump right in. Feel free, because I don't have to. That was corniness for no reason at all.
Oh, it was so nonsensical.
It's just why? It was just, I didn't like it.
It wasn't great wordplay. It was just nonsense. Mm-hmm. And we've read children's books before where we were like, wow, this is a big theme really condensed into a child-sized bite. And we really admired, of course, Charlotte's Web. Mm-hmm. Even Willy Wonka had some wordplay or language design elements that we really admire. But Alice in Wonderland, we didn't get it. Mm-mm. So what else you got?
Yellowface, the book. While I enjoyed the book, the character in the book that I did not like was June. Because she stole and she didn't accept responsibility for her actions. And even after she was bust out in such a dramatic and recorded way, she continued on. She decided she made a conscious decision to continue on with her foolishness.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, the character was written to be widely unlikable. So it's no diss to the author, right, for writing her that way. She succeeded.
Yeah, win-win. You got it right on that one, because I did not like her. And
what
then,
else you got?
Another character from Black Cake. I didn't like Benny.
What?
Benny got on my nerves. I felt like she complained unnecessarily. She was completely self-absorbed.
Benny saved the day. What are you talking about?
How, Sway? How?
Oh, no.
So
Kobe's
Benny is
daughter.
right. Yes, Kobe's daughter is Benny, and she was problematic.
You're absolutely, I'm thinking Bunny. Yes,
no, that's
Benny
a different
is
person.
the daughter. Oh, yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, she was problematic, I think, as a character. From the beginning, it all seemed just about her. How she felt, and there was no consideration for how the family was affected by her actions. And I didn't like that about her.
Yeah, this is usually how a youngest child is stereotypically depicted on fictional shows such as The Braxton Family Values. But I don't think people really act like this, do they?
Yeah, they do. They do. They do act like that.
What her brother went through, she completely tossed aside as if her problems were just too all-encompassing to even help her family grieve. Like, and even her excuses, for example, without giving away too much, for not showing up to her father's funeral, for example, but being there, but not getting out. It takes a lot to plan a funeral. And I don't know, if you don't help me, I'm looking at you sideways maybe for a while.
And he did.
He have really good excuses.
He did. Justifiably so. She was a problematic character. I did not like her behavior. And she's just really self-absorbed. She
Kobe would get to a very emotional point and retelling her story. And then Benny would get up and be like, I can't take this, and leave. And they would have to wait a whole day or two or a week till she felt like it again. Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah.
You got any more characters that you just would never want to meet in real life?
I would say, as a whole book, The Perfect Nanny.
Oh, but listen, I was going to put this on my list, but the writing was so good. Wouldn't you agree?
It wasn't. Was it? Go ahead. Was it?
I think so. I think the prose were well formed. It was a story that was like, hey, come on, we're going to go somewhere really cool. And you go, okay, story, let's go. And then you get there and it's like, oh, I forgot where we was going. Never mind. Let's just go back home. And you're like, wait a second. You said you was going to take me somewhere. It was getting good.
I don't know that it ever got good. It started off good, right? The end being told first, and then you break it all down.
Yeah, not good, but captivating.
It didn't win me. I just wondered, what was the purpose?
And when it ended, I wasn't sure it was ending. I didn't know what was going on until you reminded me the end is at the beginning.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't like that book.
But you know, French fiction can be challenging.
And
I wasn't up for the challenge with that book.
I know I wasn't. So that wasn't a winner for me at all. So those are like the biggest for me letdowns of the season.
But your hopes were kind of high with that book, right? It had some critical acclaim.
Yeah. My hopes was high. I was like, oh, this is intriguing. Ooh, how do we get into this? And then the opening just drew you in. So you're like, okay, this is it. But it was all a wind down to nothingness.
It reminds me of a movie that's very critically acclaimed. You look on Rotten Tomatoes, and it has like 99% from the critics. And then the user reviews, you don't know nothing about this because you don't look at reviews.
I don't look at reviews. Not necessary.
But the user reviews will be like 24% and it'll have a knocked over popcorn bucket. Don't nobody like this movie.
I don't even know what that means.
Liking it makes you feel maybe like you're an intellectual, but let's just stop. If you don't like it, you don't like it. And a lot of people, I imagine, or I saw, don't like The Perfect Nanny. So I get that one.
Okay. All right. Well, it wasn't. How about you? What kind of least favorites, I'll say, did you gather for this season?
So I have a list, because I like lists, of my 5 least favorite books. At the very top, not that they're in any particular order, but kinda, Alice in Wonderland, which I felt was just nonsense.
Twinsies.
Children got too much on their mind these days to be reading foolishness like this.
Absolute
It is not. It's a waste of time. In fact, let's stop talking about it. Next for me was Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmas. This is a beloved book by a lot of people. It's a mini series on Apple or something, and I did not like this book. I felt like it was an atheist manifesto wrapped into a tragic romance. I don't know. It was a lot, and none of it was great to me. I also felt like the character obviously had some neurodivergent matters that weren't addressed properly, and
which
a lot
one?
of the situations.
The woman or the
woman
man?
To me, the scientist.
Okay, they were both scientists.
Yeah, it was a bit much. Also, Because I Could Not Stop for Death by Amanda Flower.
Yeah, that's a good one.
This is a book that was so blah for me reading it. It didn't last. The story, as soon as it ended, I'll remember nothing about it, except that it made Emily Dickinson one of the world's greatest civil rights leaders of all time. And then lastly, The President's Daughter by Bill Clinton and James Patterson. That book was violent for no reason. And I told you, I was listening to one of those free Audible books, and I was like, oh, this book is terrible. You remember?
Yeah, I think so.
A famous actor in it. And I was wondering why it was so violent and the story, the plot was so weak. Yeah. James Patterson wrote it. He has a series on Audible.
Yeah, he does.
Listening to.
he absolutely does. Yes.
So as an author, I think it's just not for me. James Patterson's not for me.
Yeah, confirm that.
All right, well, let's get into some positivity and let's talk about our favorite books, perhaps favorite characters, right after this break. How's that sound? Favorite books or characters from this season? Alexis, go.
Listen, there were several, and I won't start my list with that one because it's gonna hit you. So I'll start with Clap When You Land. I feel like that was very poetic.
I'm glad you put this on your list. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yahairo, I like how she responded when she decided to go to her father's funeral, how she responded to her meeting her sister and kind of embracing it. It was shocking for both of the girls, but I do like how the story talked about both of their feelings as they both learned of this, not only their father's death, but of the having the knowledge,
the
of this
situation
other family
that he left them in.
Yeah, I really like that, those characters.
And it was a poem. Have we ever read a book like that?
I don't think so. Well, wasn't Ta-Nehisi Coates' book a poem, or was that a letter?
No, that was a letter to his son, Between the World and Me.
Yeah, so I don't think so. We've read poems, but...
And sometimes when you're listening to slam poetry, which I know is your practice to do every Friday night, it can get kind of sing-songy, kind of annoying, kind of funny.
Aww.
Huh?
Aww. Okay, well, I mean, why you saying that?
I was taken from my land into the sand by the ship I stand. Like, oh no, that's a lot.
Wow.
So, and that was off the top of the dome. You know, Nikki called me. But Clap When You Land.
Somebody.
From beginning to end was not one cohesive poem, but it added rhyming elements throughout the story in a way that was it made the book more intriguing, more memorable for me also. I love that book too. And they couldn't fit it on my list, so I'm glad you added it to yours.
Yeah, it was a very special book. And then I have the book thief, Liesel. She was tough. She loved to read. And who doesn't love somebody who loves to read? I love him. I always get him credit. She had some challenging experiences in her life. And I like how her story played out from beginning to end, and having death share that story with us. I was really gripped by that. Yeah, and I love how she loved her family and friends. I can't remember her little friend's name that died, and that scene just.
And that was one of the books that really went viral on Goodreads.
Yeah.
Usually when that happens, those books never align with the books I like. A lot of Colleen Hoover. Y'all, we tried. I know some of y'all wanted Colleen Hoover. I tried a few times to get into her book, and her books, and I just could not. But The Book Thief went viral, and we took our time getting to it. And I really love that story. I feel like because I missed the hype, I felt like it was underrated. Reading it, didn't you feel like, how come ain't more people talking about this?
But I think it was old by the time we got it. It was talked about a long time ago. So it was just, it was good to take in. I appreciated it. And next, Black Girls Must Die Exhausted.
Hey!
That book kind of like reinvigorated me with reading. I felt like I was at a lull at some point, but that one energized me. There were so many things that I felt like I could talk about. And that was like wonderful in that way. And one of my favorite characters in that book, you wouldn't believe, but it's Mark. And you know why? Because Mark was honest. Okay. He was honest with Tabitha. Okay.
But he was painted as the villain. And I'm trying to figure out, was that Tabby thinking he's the villain, or did Jane Allen want us to think he's the villain? And either way, I like that I'm not quick to take the man's side, but Mark was, if someone breaks up with you, don't you want him to treat you to a nice dinner at least? He
at
did
least,
that.
Shoot, I get one more meal out of this. He was good.
I don't know. Don't I get something?
No.
I don't know. I thought Mark was decent. Well, he was as decent as he was trifling. No, Mark was trifling, but
don't even do that.
The relationship facilitated triflingness.
So listen, I'm going to still root for him because I feel like he was the stand-up guy in that situation, because it wasn't a relationship. There were so many cues that this is just a weekend thing, and a weekend thing that lasted 18 months. There was no real relationship. He acknowledged, I don't even know you like that, girl. He said that. How can you?
Yeah.
He said that. It was so many times when he was being like truthful with her, and she was just, it was going over her head. Why? Anyway.
So why did we love this book? There's a modernity to it that reminds me of Such a Fun Age.
Sure.
And Black Girls Must Die Exhausted also brought out of me feelings that I felt watching older TV shows with girlfriends, like hanging out and living their life. You might not agree with the decisions of the characters, but in some way they might remind you of decisions you've made or your friends have made. What was it about this book, besides what you said, if you could condense it into one sentence, that really rejuvenated your love of reading? Because it can be exhausting reading a book a week. And when you read a string of bad books, or you read Alice in Wonderland once, you're like, I don't want to read it.
That'll do it.
So why did this book, resurrect that love?
I think it was the sisterhood. The sisterhood does it for me all the time. I have 3 sisters. I love my sister. Do I have 3 sisters? I have 3 sisters. I love my sisters. And I just love collecting sister friends. I love that. And it's and
although they was really talking to each other in a way I would never talk to my friends.
So that's a thing. I've come to learn that is a thing today. That's how people talk to each other. I didn't
that's
resonate
what the kids
with.
Do. I didn't recognize this. I said, Black people don't do this.
I didn't recognize that portion of it. But the way she was friends with, I can't think of her name. I don't know why I want to call her Ebony, but her friend who's Alexis.
Yeah,
her friend whose husband cheated on her. And then the other friend, Laila, who joins into the group, and just the conversations they would have, helping each other cope with their day-to-day lives. That is what friendship is, I feel like. And they encapsulated that in the story, and I appreciated that a lot.
The routines that they've made for themselves too, not unwind but unload the week's traumas and microaggressions.
Yep.
They made time for each other regularly just to talk. Very therapeutic. That reminds me too of why I love Sister Friends so much. I like the way you put that.
Yeah.
So, and Black Girls Must Die Exhausted is a series. So I'm sure we'll see what happens next with Tabby, and we will be greatly disappointed. This is also a book where the protagonist don't do nothing you want her to do. Not a single thing. Not a single thing.
No. But that's okay.
From the interaction with the cop to the end of the book, still hanging out with Mark. Why is Mark in your life? Mark is going to take as much as you give. Stop giving to Mark.
And he can't be wrong because you gave it. So I don't know why you blaming him.
Both wrong. But at least he honest.
He honest, okay?
Yeah, he honest.
And then of Mice and Men. I'm telling you.
Is that recency bias? Like you just read it, so you love it?
Yes, it is. It really is. I felt like, how could I not include this on the list? Because there was something about that story, the characters. And like you said, that is a story retold over and over again in some form or fashion on TV. And it's just like, wow, I didn't know this is what they copied it from. Because it's right here. And it was just so honest. I really like how they wrote I can't think of his name. Crooks? Yes, the black man. I really like how they gave him so many layers. He was really hurt. He wanted friendship. He didn't want to be in this separated place. And he had so many feelings, and I really appreciated that about his character.
His background, his layers. He wasn't a one-dimensional black character. Yeah. He also wasn't described, although there are many, many, many slurs in that high school required reading book. But he wasn't described like, this is the black man. No. And that's it.
No.
You learned about his background, his motivations in just a few sentences. Yep. And it really shows how John Steinbeck in his time could have done that. And the threat also that what's his name's wife made to Crooks. That threat showed a lot too about Crooks's the dangers around him.
Yep.
Coupled with his loneliness. And so that really makes James Patterson like unforgivable when he just described people by their race, and that's it. And that's it. That's all you got to know about them. It doesn't make sense.
And then the black woman into the room.
Is so short. Yeah, I agree with you. It's like you can do more with just a few pages and a lot less words.
Yeah. And so I have an honorable mention.
Oh, okay.
This is character driven.
Okay.
Lessons in Chemistry. There are things about that book that I don't like. But what I like about the book is the character Emily Zott's love of cooking and of science. And that combination and how she talked about it. I think that's what draws me to that book. Now, there's so much in it where there's a philosophy that's being preached throughout that book. I get it. It's there. And I was trying to understand that when I was reading it initially, but it still doesn't take away from the character's love of cooking and science. And I appreciated that about the book. So that is my selection of faves from this season.
I love the way you saw that book because the philosophical elements that repulsed me, I get, or just got to be too much for me.
They were too much.
That's not the majority of the book. That's not the weight of that story. There's so much more to it. So I like that it made my least favorite list, and the character at least made your favorite list.
Yeah, it did. So how about your favorites? How about your list of favorites? I'm interested. Let's hear it.
Well, some of yours are on here, but my top 5 favorite books from this season. Number 1 would be Get Good with Money. This is not in order, by the way, but Get Good with Money, 10 Simple Steps to Becoming Financially Whole by Tiffany Aliche. I thought that book
That's a winner.
that's what I want, from a self-help book. Do not throw theory and anecdotes at me. Atomic Habits, I don't need it. Or do not just repeat the same thing that is said in so many self-help books, which is, most of them just repeat each other.
They are repeats.
Rewording the same concepts. But I felt like Tiffany gave you step-by-step plans, not to get rich, but to get good with money. She delivered on the title of the book. That's all we ask.
Yeah, she's very good at that.
Yeah. I really love that book. Now, have I applied the steps that she gave me in her written word?
Yes, you have.
Not yet.
Yeah, surely a little bit. There's one thing or two things that you walked away from that you could immediately apply, even if it wasn't the whole thing. Come on.
Yeah, I must have. And soon I will open a bank account with a credit union, right? That's what we do it?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
One day. So
you can do it. They're reliable.
Okay. No, I'm sure. Then Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. That book, from the beginning pages, it reminds me of Yajasti. What was that book we read? Not Transcendent Kingdom. Homecoming. Where once you read
Delicious.
It's the type of book, as soon as you start, you like, oh, this is a book.
Delicious.
Oh, she came here writing. It is an epic story. Really well done. I care about everyone in that book. And although the daughter, Eleanor's daughter, gets on my nerves, I care about her too. So really well done. Love the layers in that book.
Ooh,
None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell was the only book I read this year, where as soon as I closed it, I started again from the beginning. I enjoy being in that story. It is fun. It is salacious. It is drama. Lisa Jewell is one of my favorite
None of this is true.
Yeah, None of This Is True.
Okay. I'm trying to think.
So
which
how did
book
you
that
feel
is.
about that book?
Wait,
we haven't talked about it really.
None of This Is True is the one where they're birthday twins, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking about another book.
Yeah. Okay. So what did you think about None of This Is True?
Oh no, I feel like I loved None of This Is True. This is not. I'm trying to pick which story this is. Is this one when they go back?
Okay, no, this happens. These nonfictions run together. This is about two women, like you said, birthday twins. One hates her life, one loves her life. The one who loves it is a podcaster. However, her husband has a dark secret that she's putting up with. The other one has dark secrets, but it's unclear what those are. She also has 2 daughters that she doesn't see, although she lives with one of them. Remember?
Oh, yes.
She's got a secret drawer in her house full of trophies.
Okay. Yeah. I think I know.
And in the end, I think like 3 people are dead.
Yes. Okay. I remember this book. Very good book.
Lisa Jewell will kill off a character. She do not care.
Did we read 2 Lisa Jewell books this year?
I feel like 3.
Yeah. Maybe.
Because then she was gone.
But not
at least 3, because Invisible Girl, I think, is Lisa Jewell also. And that had you running away from strangers in the street. You remember?
I was a little afraid. Yes, I do remember.
That's fun. Sometimes you just want to be afraid, right? Am I right?
I don't want to be afraid. I don't think that's fun. I don't know. I don't get that concept.
Next, The Wager, A Tale of Shipwreck, Mutiny, and Murder by David Graham.
Gotta give you credit for that one. You can have it. That's a good one.
This is a nonfiction book about colonizing piracy and cannibalism. It is true, it is detailed, and it is compact for what it is.
Wow.
It is a not put downer. Can't put downer.
A not put downer.
It is also a book that I feel like a lot of people would enjoy. If you enjoy drama, if that's your genre, you'll enjoy this nonfiction. If you enjoy adventure, you'll enjoy this nonfiction. I guess there's no real love stories in it unless you count how much thieves love their country. And
No
how
love
much the
story.
countries love themselves. It's a lot. And there's a twist in it that you might not see coming. Ooh, that's a good book.
That
the
was a
whole
good
book is built up to something that doesn't happen. And that's great.
That
That's
was
all I can say.
wild. Was
That was
book
wild.
new? That book was new?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you didn't spoil that, did you?
Oh, yeah. We didn't spoil the ending. The twist we did not spoil.
That was
you're right. We chose not to spoil that book.
That was a doozy.
Because it came out recently.
Mm-hmm. That was a doozy.
Now we got to read Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Which has been made into a 6-hour movie that we'll never see.
Probably not, but the book, I'm down for
But
it.
the book,
it's on my list.
Which is not long at all, so I don't get it.
I'm on the list.
Second, my last one here, I was going to say penultimate, but this is actually the last book, is Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. This book made me go buy Catcher in the Rye because I'm like, fine. I'll read these books.
We're supposed to read that.
I was supposed to read in high school because if they're this good, I need to know what's in them.
Yeah.
But I heard Catcher in the Rye is not as good as Of Mice and Men. John Steinbeck's book is written beautifully, the nature in it, the problems that people face in their daily lives at this time, the anxiety that they feel, their hopes, all described really well in a day read, less than a day.
Yeah.
And Alexis said that.
Yeah.
But she'll never say that about a book.
Not at all.
So this book is short and it packs a punch.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions, all of the memoirs. They were great stuff. We started this season with Spare where Prince Harry was like, I hate the media. As he talks to the media, I hate the media. I hate the press. I hate the paparazzi. Also, cocaine. I don't hate that.
So let me tell you, I wanted to add that book. I wanted to add all the memoirs, but it's not possible. So I just opted out of them. They were really well written collections for sure.
So let me remind you of all the memoirs we read, and then tell me which one was your favorite and why. Can we do that?
Come on, those are people's lives.
but just the way the story was told, not talking about their life, but the way that they told the section of the story of their life that they wanted to divulge.
Okay.
We have Spare by Prince Harry, Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, Worthy by Jada Pinkett Smith, The Woman in Me by Britney Spears, and Thicker Than Water by Kerry Washington. Which of those stuck with you the longest?
Wow.
I know, right?
Dang.
So drastically different.
Yeah, they are. I would say Jada's. And I say Jada's.
Okay, why?
I want to say Prince Harry's. I want to say his, but I would give that second place. But Jada's because she had those questions. And I love those introspective questions. And she did that a lot in her book after every chapter. So I did like, I always like that aspect of a book. And she did that. She did it with her life, right? And then she shared those questions with her readers. So I did like that. How about you? Which one did you prefer?
Well, I like that you mentioned Spare and Worthy because those are two books that are highly contested in pop culture or in I should say, just online. It's hard to gauge what people really feel about Worthy because so many people have opinions about Jada. That book to me was really well done. I like the interactive elements, and we didn't go there. We didn't go into that book being Team Will or Team Jada.
No.
We just wanted to know her story, and we read Will's book.
Yep.
So why not know what Jada thought? And a lot of the things that people have problems with Jada and her relationship with Will already talked about.
Yeah.
And he was very forthcoming.
Yep.
He was like, I'll be out there. And people were like, how dare Jada? This is her family. So that book has shown me a lot about the society we live in. I don't get it. And then Spare people, of course, had their issues. We got a lot of hate comments because we refused to hate anybody in that book. We don't know these people. Sorry, y'all ain't gonna get us to hate folks we don't know.
I can't. It don't even
We not
make
gonna do it.
sense. I cannot be that
He said he
passionate.
love his daddy. We supposed to say he shouldn't love his daddy? Are you crazy?
It don't make
That's
sense.
his whole daddy.
It don't make sense.
That ain't my family. And the biggest villain in his life was the paparazzi. He wasn't even bashing people like I think others wanted him to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you. I won't say Spare stuck with me. That had a big hype. And then it just kind of got quiet for Spare. I don't hear anyone really talk about it or refer to it anymore. But I feel like The Woman in Me and Worthy, those are books that people are going to talk about, at least here in the States, for a little longer, as these two women have embedded themselves in the heart of our culture. I feel like Jada Pinkett Smith is a famous actress, especially if you come from a certain culture or community. Like, that's Jada Pinkett Smith. I don't know. She's a whole actress. She got a whole career. We've been known her. And then Britney Spears is Britney Spears.
It's huge. Huge.
So, but Kerry Washington's book was probably my favorite to be in those pages. I like the way she carried herself, even in the book. You see what I did there? And the way she told her story. Really well done.
Yeah. All of them.
All right.
All
So
of them
those
were
are our
good.
favorite books from the season. Go ahead.
All of them were really good. I think it's hard to rank.
We read some really great books.
Difficult to rank.
I didn't have room for The House of Eve. I didn't have room for Yellowface.
Yeah.
I didn't have room for Monday's Not Coming.
I know.
Which made me read all that author's works.
Yeah.
Oh, I should say her name. What's her name again?
Jackson. Why do I want her to be a Jackson? Tiffany D. Jackson. That's why.
Thank you. Tiffany D. Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great job. She always takes real life events and mixes them into a fictional story. She's like basically Law and Order SVU.
Oof.
So
reading on the pages.
Right. Let's move on to the next segment of our wrap-up show, Behind the Scenes, where we're going to talk about some challenges and some anecdotes that we can share from this season. Alexis, this is yours. What you got for us?
Is it all mine? How's that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any challenges you faced recording the fourth season of a podcast?
Yeah. So I was traveling a good portion of the chapter. This fourth season, I have filmed in 4 different locations, I think, and on 2 different continents. So I've been around, and it's not always my space. It's never my space, in fact. So I'm always trying to adapt to other people's environment, and sometimes it looks plain. Okay, that's just the fact of life, because I'm not moving other people's stuff. All right.
Well, now you're in your own space.
Yeah, now I'm in my own space, and I'll be here, but I'll also be doing some back and forth between here and the States still. But I think I'll settle in such a way that I'll be able to have a base in the States and a base here in Portugal, because that equipment is heavy, and I'm so over it. It's too heavy. It's too heavy.
Our mics alone. And then forget the base that we attach the mic to record is super heavy.
That's
very
a lot.
Heavy.
Yep.
So you're going to have 2 studios.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Which is why we need advertiser dollars.
That's right. That's right. Because I have to build out a space within my new location that shows that I can record in.
I be trying to make her put a plan in there or something. If y'all watch on YouTube and you think Alexis got kidnapped, no, that's her apartment. I don't know. I tried. Look, she moved a little. Now you can see the plan.
And then
now, if you set the plan up behind you, how are we supposed to see it?
Oh,
We want to see your business. What's going on in there?
so I
Anyway.
should put the plan in front. Okay, that's another story, another time. The point is, I've been in different places. And so if I don't have it set up just right, my whole background is black. And Kari don't like that. It's just a white space. And Kari don't like that. I'm fine with it. Kari doesn't like that.
But you know why I don't like it? Because
No.
we're having a moment on YouTube. That brings us to another element of our behind the scenes process. We are devoting more time to video content. Isn't that what you wanted from the beginning, starting a podcast? You wanted to be on screen every week?
If anybody recalls our logo, you would know that I don't want to be on screen. Okay?
That's right. We didn't even want our faces on the logo, which they still ain't.
They are not.
But our whole faces are on the internet on YouTube.
Week
That's Lit Society Pod
after
on
week.
YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
We are now monetized over there after a lot of work. So please, when you watch our videos, turn off them ad blockers and, watch a few seconds of our ads. They good, I hear. So we've made a lot of strides over there. You can see I've invested in some lighting. I added a plant here that you can see. So we just doing our best, y'all, trying to keep the troops entertained.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, also we added this year a little literally.
We did it twice, right?
Yeah, we have 3 a little literally bonus episodes, and that's where we just take 10 minutes to discuss a bookish topic. We talked about Keke Palmer saying that what I'm trying to say. The Great Gatsby was a black man.
I have that book. I have that book. I went and bought that book.
So when you read it, what's the name of it again?
I don't know. Something Chilio something.
That's
like that.
right. It's Italian.
Yeah.
I don't remember either. But yeah, that was very interesting. Got great feedback on social media, especially TikTok. And then also we talked about your favorite movie based on your favorite book based on your favorite Tyler Perry movie. We're really getting into the heart of the news.
Mm-hmm.
These are really topics that matter.
Oh.
And so sometimes we can't fit them all into our show. So we created a little segment to dive into those topics. Now let's continue to the last part of our wrap up, a game.
Are you kidding me?
Who said that? Yeah.
I really love that expression though. But are you kidding me?
This is where we put Alexis on the spot. Clearly,
how did I get here?
This.
How?
How I get in it? Now, why am I in it?
Now, why am I in it?
And what we're going to do is give her a quote. That quote comes from one of the books we read this season. If she guesses the name of the book, she gets 10 points. If she guesses which character within the book said the quote, if applicable, she gets 29 points. And if she gets 30 points, she get $1 million. Let's begin.
I've been trying to win this $1 million for like 4 seasons now.
You ain't winning yet. You traveling the world. I know that's on Lit Society's dime.
Wow.
Because we swimming in the monies. Here we go. Round 1. And this trip downtown had shown me that we even had to fight for what should have been free, our dignity. From which book is that?
Oh, no. But I'm a guess.
Yeah, you got it. What you looking down at? Are you Googling?
No, I'm not Googling. I'm looking at the names of the books we covered this year.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's okay, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I would say, what is it again? What's the phrase?
And this trip downtown had shown me that we even had to fight for what should have been free, our dignity.
Downtown. Who was talking about downtown? Black Cake?
And sorry, that's from the House of Eve.
Oh, that was my
Remember
second
little
guess.
Ruby Parasol came from downtown and that woman called her a slur?
Yep, that was my second guess.
Oh, I believe you. Round 2.
Mm-hmm.
The industry is built on silencing us stomping us into the ground and hurling money at white people to produce racist stereotypes of us. Well, if y'all look on YouTube, me and Alexis matching. We didn't even plan that.
I would say, racist stereotype. One more again.
Sure. This industry is built on silencing us, stomping us into the ground, and hurling money at white people to produce racist stereotypes of us.
Thicker than water.
Oh, I see it. But no, that is from Yellowface by R.F. Khan.
Dagnabbit!
That was Candace, the editorial assistant.
Well,
yeah,
she went
I looked this up, or I would have also said thicker than water. That's okay. You're still in it.
Am I though?
Round 3.
Am I? Not with my heart and soul.
You were never just you, and you owed it to the people you cared about to remember that. Because the people you loved were part of your identity too, perhaps the biggest part. These are hard. I'm glad I didn't sign up for this show.
I'm going to get you back. If it's the last thing I'll do. What was that again?
You were never just you, and you owed it to the people you cared about to remember that, because the people you loved were part of your identity too, perhaps the biggest part. You want me to tell you who said it?
Yeah, tell me who said it.
This is giving it away. Bunny.
Oh, it is. It's Black Cake.
Oh, wait. No, Eleanor said it after she saw Bunny.
Well, it's still
later.
Black Cake.
So yes, Black Cake. Ding, ding, ding. We'll give it to you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. These are hard.
They are hard.
Well, those were the hard ones. The rest are super easy.
Okay, let's see.
Round 4. Blaming the woman is nothing new.
That sounds like something you said. I know that. Jada Worthy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Jada Pinkett Smith, Worthy. So the book is not called Jada Pinkett Smith, but we'll still give it to you.
I said Worthy. I followed it up with Worthy.
No,
Don't discredit me.
For you. 3 more rounds. Round 5. I love my mother country and I love my family and I always will. I just wish at the second darkest moment of my life, they've been there for me too.
Spare. Prince Harry said that. I remember.
That's right. I was thinking this could have been, what's the follow-up to Things Fall Apart?
Oh, yeah.
What was that? No Country for Old Men?
No.
That was good
No
too.
Longer
I
at
wanted
Ease.
to put No Longer at Ease by Chinua Achebe. However, it ain't that one. You were right. It's Spare by Prince Harry.
Yeah.
That's another book that could have been on the favorites list.
Yep.
Very well done. Anyway. So yeah, ding, ding. You right. There we go. Round 6. 2 rounds left. Empires. I can't read. Empires preserve their power with the stories that they tell, but just as critical are the stories that they don't, the dark silences they impose, the pages they tear out.
Dang. That sounds like that's a wager, but I can't be sure because that
my best friend.
The way that story ended, I was like, accusations. Throw them out because this is a problem. This is real life.
And it ain't stopped.
No,
it hasn't stopped.
No. Wow, what a book.
So it's just like J. Cole said, the men who write the pen of history always erase their sin.
You sure that wasn't Emily Dickinson?
For more information, listen to our Amanda Flower book, or don't. Whatever, we didn't even like that book. Okay, very good. The Wager by David Grann. Can I read that one more time?
Yeah,
it gave me goosebumps. Ooh. Empires preserve their power with the stories that they tell, but just as critical are the stories they don't. The dark silences they impose, the pages they tear out. Really well done. This is nonfiction. Some people can just write nonfiction in a way where it is both a history book and your favorite thriller. That is Isabel Wilkerson. That is David Grann. We need more like this.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
That's it, right?
Here we go. No, one more. Round 7. Careful, Alexis. Remember, we want to know the book and who said it. The quote, I'm not offended by all the dumb blonde jokes because I know I'm not dumb. And I also know I'm not a blonde.
That is Britney Spears in the book The Woman Within. Woman Within Me. Something.
Now, I didn't expect you to not get the book right.
The Woman Within Me. The me within
Just
the
woman
woman.
in me. That's
Oh.
okay. We'll give it to you.
Yeah, I should
It's
get
midnight
that.
over there by you. And who said it?
I said Britney. That was the first answer.
Well, it's technically Dolly Parton, but we'll let it go.
Britney repeated it. Shoot, she get credit.
That's right. She was quoting.
That's
and
right.
I messed up that joke, Dolly's joke. It's I'm not offended by the dumb blonde jokes because I know I'm not dumb. And I also know I'm not blonde. There we go.
There you go. Say
All
it right.
Well, that will bring us to the end of a successful 4th season.
Yee-hoo-hoo-hoo.
We are looking ahead to season 5, right?
Right, we are.
We coming back for season 5, right?
I think so.
Yeah. We have plans too. That's what we should say.
Oh, yeah.
We have plans too.
Yeah, we have plans too.
We would like some money though. So we will be looking for sponsors of this very well listened to show. You know, we're huge in Botswana.
Come on, Botswana.
Also...
I think we talked about that. Come on, Botswana. Invite us over.
We're also a top podcast stateside, thanks to all of you guys. So thank you for listening to us week after week. We really appreciate it. Although we love talking about these books on our own, you help validate what we do every week as far as the show goes. Because we could just talk about books like on a Zoom call. But, you know, you guys are like, no, we want to talk about books with you. We are listening. We appreciate you. And Alexis and I appreciate all of you.
We appreciate
for your support. Please expect us to come back tentatively the first week in February. That's what we usually do. So we'll be taking January and December off, December and January off. But we do have some fun for you guys exclusively on YouTube. And we will have our favorite episodes playing like reruns until we return February 1st, which is Thursday, February 1st. Wow. So what are you going to do with your time off, Alexis?
Well, I have a couple of trips planned. Apparently I can't sit still. So I have a couple of trips planned. I'm going to see some family that I haven't seen. I'm going to read some books. I'm going to go pick up my books and start reading them. I'm using downtime. And, you know, let me just say this. My friend just took a cruise and read books. She went by herself. I think I could do that. Like take
How long
a cruise.
Was this cruise she went on by herself?
I feel like she was gone 2 weeks, but it might have been less than that. And she hopped islands, of course, island hopped. And it was nice and warm. She was sending pictures on the beach and whatnot and reading books. I think I could do a shorter one. Maybe 4.
I think you could do it. Yeah, 2 weeks sounds torturous, but I'm not into cruises. It's like prison with children and older people.
But if you got
But one time, Alexis, do you remember we got so bored on a cruise? We've been on a couple cruises together.
Maybe it was just one.
Well, we got so bored. We done everything on the menu and we saw these meetings. I won't give the name of the meeting because I guess it's secret. But let's say the meetings are called Meet with Jack. Okay. And it was on the cruise ship itinerary. And we was like, well, we done everything. Let's go to this Meet with Jack event. And we get there and it's just us in a room. And then a man comes in and sits down and we like, hey, Jack. And he goes, how do you know my name? And we goes, because this is the Meet with Jack event. And he goes, oh, no, that's secret for Alcoholics Anonymous. So we went to an AA meeting. It was just us two and Jack. And I think we immediately got cocktails after that. But I love the idea that these are secret meetings for Alcoholics Anonymous on a cruise ship. Because that's all people do is like eat and drink 24/7 on the ship. Yeah. Anyway, back to the cruise you taking. Please keep us informed on your Instagram. And can you give us your handle again, Alexis?
Alexis is traveling.
That's right. Everyone go follow Alexis is traveling because she really is. She's been in Africa, Europe. Are you going to Asia?
I hope to. I'm planning. I'm talking to somebody about making that trip. Want to go to Japan. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Probably next year, though.
Okay. All right. Well, let us know. That's great. I think with my break, I too am going to do some reading. Even though we read for this show, it's a lot because we have to take notes and we have to make sure we break down the book. It's nice to just read. I'm
Yeah.
actually reading right now The Devil Wears Prada for a special video on our channel. This is one of my least favorite books in life, I thought, but I'm
Yeah.
having a great time.
Look at that. Look at that. And I want to read the book, but you always say it's so terrible.
Yeah, I do because the movie is so good and I really put down that book, but I have to say I just passed the middle and I'm like, this isn't as bad as I remember. So I'll be doing that. I like to say I'm going to read the love songs of W.B. Du Bois. I'm looking at it now and I really think it's just too thick.
You know,
it's like the Count of Monte Cristo. I don't know if I'll get to it.
We're going to put that on here. I'm going to do it. Don't you worry.
That would be great. I would
It'll
love
be
a
broke
month.
up into several
I
spots.
would love that. Please do that for us.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to do
Okay.
it. We're going to do it. So you're reading, what are you reading right now?
Well, I just went to a bookstore yesterday and got a whole bunch of books. Right now I'm reading The Devil Wears Prada. I'm also getting into I can't recommend these books, you guys, because I haven't started them yet. But just so you know what I'm getting into. TJ Newman, Falling. I'm reading that with my niece-in-law.
Okay, that's on my list.
What?
Yes,
why is it on your list?
Because I saw it was recommended to me from another book that I had read, and so I checked that out. You remember that airplane book we read and you didn't like it?
Yeah, it sounds just like a TV show that just came on.
Yeah, so that one is on. Yeah, it's on my list. I checked it out and didn't get to it.
Please text me when you start it, and we'll read it together.
Okay, sounds good.
When are you planning to start it?
Oh, I'm gonna try to check it out again. In the next week or so.
You got it from the library?
Well, no, yes, I did originally get it from the library. Okay. Now I have to go to Libby and try to get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I also got The Catcher in the Rye just cuz. Yeah, a few other books. Oh, one of them. Oh, The Underground Railroad.
Oh.
By Colson Whitehead.
You know what? So that's a TV show, and I didn't know it was based on his novel.
So did you watch the show?
I did not. I just came across it.
Good. Okay.
And I saw where it said that. I didn't know it.
Okay. Yeah, that was so a couple of his stories have been turned into miniseries or movies because he's a great writer, multi-Pulitzer Prize winning author. So The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. I can't see anything else that I just bought, but I see a lot of stuff I'm ready to get into. Oh, you know what? We were supposed to read more plays and we didn't really do that.
We read
so I got some Tennessee Williams I'm going to read.
Though. We read 2 plays. We read 2 plays.
Well, you know what? No, you're right. We read Othello, Romeo and Juliet. Did we read Fences this season or last season?
Last season, I think.
So just those two?
Yeah.
It was just Shakespeare?
Yep, just Shakespeare. Which is good.
Okay, maybe we'll read King Lear, which is my favorite Shakespearean.
That's
drama.
a great one. I'm reading Dopamine Nation. I'm getting my dose of.
Was that a TV show?
No, it's a. I don't think it's a TV show.
It's nonfiction, right?
Yeah, maybe it is on Netflix. I can see that.
I'm thinking of Dope Sick.
Oh no, this is Dopamine Nation,
Sorry.
and I got The Handmaiden's Tale. I've heard good things about it, so I'm gonna give it a try. And then I got a couple other books that I picked up, but I'm looking forward to that.
That's Margaret Atwood. Right.
Margaret Atwood.
Okay, well, let me know what you think. And if it's something you want to also break down on the show. Well, great, you guys. So we got some exciting times ahead. I'm also going to spend a week just at home. I need a break.
Like,
I got a lot going on.
Not working?
We both do. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I took some time off to sit and look at my cat, who's also our producer. Should I get her?
Yes.
For our end of season sign off?
Gotta have her on.
Let me wake her up. All she do is sleep. Oh, she looks suspicious. She said, "What?"
She is suspicious, by the way.
Oh, there she goes. So if you're on YouTube, you can see our producer looking very confused. Say bye to the people. All right, you guys. Thank you for listening to season 4 of Lit Society.
Thank you.
We will return February 1st.
Yep.
Alexis, anything else you want to say to the people?
I want to read a quote.
Yeah, please.
It's by Lloyd Alexander, who wrote books for adults and children. And one of his books were turned into a Disney movie. So it's old stuff.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, he said, keep reading. It's one of the most marvelous adventures that anyone can have. Lloyd Anderson.
Well put. Enough said. Let's close it out. Thank you guys. See you next season.
Bye.
Bye. Read something.
Ooh, read something.